Hey guys, in today's video, I'm going to be going over some common questions that I've received about Amazon PPC and specifically related to product launches. These are questions I got from the YouTube community and within my own mastermind class. I think that you're going to get a lot of value out of today's video, so make sure you stick around to the end. If you guys don't know, my name's Lamar and I'm a 7-figure Amazon FBA e-commerce seller. I have 3 private label brands and I've driven millions of dollars through my PPC campaigns. I've actually probably spent way too much time thinking about Amazon PPC. I am still in the nitty-gritty. I build all of my campaigns. I've really thought a lot about Amazon PPC. In fact, I've probably thought too much about Amazon PPC. I remember just like staring at the computer screen trying to think about or break down problems. I've probably fallen into like analysis paralysis one too many times just contemplating Amazon PPC. But anyways, in this video, I'm going to be going through some top 10 questions or some common questions that I've gotten around Amazon PPC and related to product launches. Like I said, these are questions I've gotten within the mastermind community, which you're more than welcome to join. You can click the link below to get more information on that. Or these are just questions that I've gotten throughout the YouTube community. And if you do have a question about Amazon PPC, feel free to drop it in the comment section below. I'd be more than happy to answer it. In the meantime, make sure you hit that subscribe button and definitely give me a thumbs up if you're getting value out of this video. So without further ado, guys, let's jump into today's video and go with question number 1. All right, so this first question is from Connor, and he asks, do I keep an automatic, a broad, and product targeting ad groups or campaigns running forever, or do I just kind of use them for the launch stage of a particular product? And the answer is that it really kind of depends here. The automatic and the broad ad groups, I usually just set up initially, and you got to think about them as if you're casting like a wide net out there. And you're essentially looking to catch search terms that customers are searching on Amazon and converting on your product. So in theory, once you've casted that net out there and you've been fishing for a while, and once you kind of refine your campaigns, you can start to close them down or turn them off. That said, if the A cost is acceptable and you're making money off of those ad groups, I typically leave them running. I don't see a reason of why I should close them down if they're generating sales and the A cost is good. So to answer your question, it kind of depends. I've done both. If I need to cut slack or I'm really trying to cut back on my PPC spend and I'm analyzing, particular campaigns and I'm seeing that, we're just not profitable on this product anymore, yes, the automatic and the broad, ad groups are the first ones that I'm going to be cutting to try to get some of that slack back. The next question is also from Connor. He asks, my suggested bid is $2, but on Amazon, the suggested range is $1 to $3. So basically, how should I handle that? Where should my bid be placed, essentially? Okay, thanks, Connor, for the question, or for your second question here. To answer your question, basically, yeah, you can start off at that suggested bid that Amazon, says that you should place your bid at. However, you have to remember that Amazon is a live marketplace. So while they do have a suggested range there, you have to understand that there's other competitors, there's other people bidding on those same keywords that you're bidding on and in the same categories. So while they have a range there, it's likely to change or fluctuate, or Amazon's calculating that based off of some historical preferences or historical bidding trends. So it might not be 100% accurate. So you have a $2 bid, which is right in between the $1 and $3 range, which is fine. The more important thing that you need to be thinking about here, especially during the launch phase, is how many clicks are you getting to your listing? Right? The reason we're running the Amazon PPC in the first place for your product launch is to drive that traffic to your product listing. So if you're not getting, and I like to see about 50 clicks to the product listing, per day at a minimum. So if you're not getting those clicks through that campaign, then you're gonna wanna increase your bid a little bit. And that might take you up to 250 or even potentially above their suggested range. In many cases, I will have campaigns where I need to raise, or I'll have bids where I need to raise them, above the suggested bid range that Amazon has. The next question comes from Nancy, and she asks, how much do I set my budget to when I'm just launching, and when do I raise my budget? All right, so the first thing to understand here is that everyone's business is a little bit different. Everyone is selling in different categories. Everyone's got different business goals. So I'm gonna say typically, most of the time when I'm launching products on Amazon, I normally start with a budget for my manual campaign and for my auto campaign of between $30 to $50. I'm comfortable spending that on a new product. I normally can get that minimum of 50 clicks, per day with that budget, following my process for Amazon PPC. Having your budget set at that also allows you to make optimizations over time and control your spending. Now you could set your budget to $100, $200, $300 per day if you have the funds to do that. However, the risk is you end up spending budget on a bunch of keywords that aren't relevant to your product or don't make sense, and you might just create overspending, especially during that initial product launch phase where I'm trying to keep my budget under control. So I'll start off with $30 to $50 per day. I'll make those optimizations every couple of days as I weed out bad performing keywords, and as I start to optimize my campaign and the ACoS starts to come down over time, we're talking over several weeks now, then I'll increase my budget, as the ACoS continues to improve over time. Another thing to keep in mind is that your budget could potentially eventually become unlimited, right? As your ACoS continues to come down over time, or as you stabilize it, you're gonna start to raise your budget. And if the ACoS maintains at the level that you're comfortable with, there's no reason why you wouldn't raise your budget almost to an unlimited amount, because you're acquiring sales. You're getting customers to your product page and they're buying. And if the ACoS is the same, then there's no reason why you just wouldn't, raise it to its maximum. The next question is from Esther, and he asks, should I use a keyword tool and target specific keywords in the Amazon PPC during launch? Now, Esther, I'm assuming you mean a keyword tool to target specific keywords like in an exact match. Now, thanks for the question here again. I would say be careful with this. If you know 100% that you have one or two main keywords that you're going to be targeting, and you can scrape them from a keyword tool and you can put them into an exact match and target them from the get-go, you can do that. And in fact, I have launched products doing just that because I was very confident that that product was going to convert for that search term. However, all these third-party software tools out there are just making good estimations, okay, about search term volume, reverse ASIN search up and look up. All these things are just making, they're good guesses. They're the best of what we have outside of actual Amazon data. Now, normally when I launch products on Amazon, I wait and rely on that Amazon data that I'm fishing with through the auto and the broad campaigns. Normally when I'm launching a product on Amazon, I wait to see what the actual data is from Amazon. And the way that you get that real Amazon data, the way that you identify specifically what keywords or what search terms actually convert for your product, the only way to know that for sure is when you run an auto and a broad ad group on Amazon when you're setting up your Amazon PPC campaigns. That is where you're going to cast that wide net. You're going to see which keywords, which search terms you catch, and then you can go and target them directly through an exact ad group match type. The next question is from Marlene. And Marlene asks, why don't you just add hundreds of keywords into your broad match ad group? And Marlene, thanks for the question. I completely understand why you would ask this question. If you just put in a bunch of, let's say you use a third-party software, you scrape all your top 100, keywords. Why don't you just throw them all in a broad match campaign or ad group and just cast all those wide nets and see which, search terms convert? There's two answers to this question. The first is that when you do that, if you were to put in like 100 seed keywords into a broad match campaign, you're going to overspend quite a bit. You're going to be bidding on all those 100 different keywords, and you're going to be placing your product on all those different search queries. So you're going to be spending a lot of money. And if you did that, $30, $50 isn't going to be able to cover the needed budget to have your product displayed on just so many seed keywords. So that's for one. The second thing here is that Amazon, when we're first launching a product, they really care about two things. The second thing here is that when we're first launching a product, we care about two things. We care about driving traffic to our listing, and then we care about getting sales on our product listing. And one of the key metrics in between there is conversion rate. And we have to be very careful about bidding on keywords that aren't hyper relevant to our product and convert for our product. Chances are, more than not, if you added a bunch of keywords, and 100 is a lot of keywords to put in a broad campaign, but let's say even you put in 20, 30 keywords in your broad campaign, you're going to be showing your ad or your product to a lot of unqualified buyers. A lot of those terms, or most of those terms, probably aren't hyper relevant to your product. So you're going to be sending cold traffic to your product listing. They're not going to be super interested in buying your product. And what's actually going to happen is that you're going to hurt your listing conversion rate. Well, I can tell you that Amazon cares a lot about your listing conversion rate. They want people to land on your product listing and they want them to buy. So if you're adding a bunch of traffic onto your product listing and those customers aren't buying, you're hurting your conversion rate, which is hurting your sales and your listing. So we want to make sure that we're adding a couple. I tend to add anywhere from 5 to 10 broad seed keywords within that ad group, and I let that run. And that's normally a good basis. We'll be able to start a nice foundation and cast a wide enough yet still, and still be able to find those search terms that we do convert well on without leading to too much overspending and without hurting our listing conversion rate too much. The next question is from Amber, and she asks, how do I know if my ad is showing or where my ad placement is? Okay, the first part of this question, or first off, thank you, Amber, for the question. The first part is if you're running keyword targeting campaigns, it's pretty easy. You're just going to, add that keyword into your campaign, and you can just do a quick search on Amazon and an eye check. So you could search your main keyword, let's say that you're bidding on it, and your product will, display on the first page, second page, third page. You can keep kind of clicking through and seeing where your ad eventually is displayed. If you're not seeing your ad within the first 5 pages, let's say, you might want to increase your bid a little bit. The second place that you'd be able to see your ad displayed, again, this is with keyword targeting, is if you click into a competing product, say it's your number 1 competitor, your number 2 competitor, you scroll down the page and you look at that sponsored ad section on the product detail page. Right there, you should be able to hit the arrow button and go next, 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 and you should be able to see your ad within there as well. If you don't have good enough placement, here again, you can increase your bid, and that can help. I don't want to say that I won't promise it, but it will help your ad placement. So just like increasing your bid to get more exposure, let's say from the second page to the first page, you can also improve your positioning within the product detail page by increasing your bid. The second place is if you're running product targeting ads. You can simply add the ASIN and target that ASIN. You add in your bid. You would just go to that ASIN. You would just go to that product on Amazon and see if your ad is showing up here again on the detail page about halfway down on that product listing. So in both cases, and with Amazon advertising, when you adjust the bid, it doesn't typically take too long for your ad placement to be adjusted. So if you're on the second page and you want to be on the first, just bump up your bid a little bit and you'll start to see your ad placement change. The next question is from Ivan, and this is similar to the question that I just answered before. However, it's a little bit different. He asks, what is the difference between keyword targeting and product targeting? Your ad shows up in the exact same place, doesn't it? And Ivan, thanks again here for the question. I would definitely say that there is overlap between both of these types of targeting. Let's say, for example, you search your main keyword into Amazon and you click on your main competitor. You scroll down the page and you see your ad displayed there. That would be considered a keyword targeting ad campaign that you were running. However, you're targeting that specific keyword or search term that the customer searched in Amazon. And that's why your ad was displayed there on your competitor's product page. Let's say that a user on Amazon didn't search that main keyword or search some variation that you weren't bidding on, or maybe they just searched a completely irrelevant keyword, or maybe they didn't search a keyword at all and they just came across your competitor's listing because they clicked on a blog post that was off of Amazon and they came directly to that product page. In that case, the customer didn't search any keyword in Amazon. And then therefore, your ad wouldn't display on that detailed page because you're bidding on a keyword, not the actual product listing. So that's where the product targeting comes in and allows you to actually target a specific product page. In the event that you're not bidding on that specific keyword, your ad can still show for that product. The next question is from Daniel, and he says, I have 3 color variations. How should I set them up and run Amazon advertising? All right, Daniel, great question. Get this question a lot. There's 2 ways that you can kind of think about this. The first way is if you think the variations will essentially have all the same keywords or extremely likely to have all the same keywords, you can put those variations all within a single ad group. And then you can kind of have Amazon choose which variation to show. So if you think that they're all going to have the same variation, you're just going to put them all into a single ad group. If you think that there's potential that some of the variations could have different keywords, or maybe there's certain search terms that customers are searching and they would like to choose one variation over the other, and they're going to be searching for that specific variation, but it's still all a variation of the same product, you can either A, treat them all as if they were individual products and give them each a separate campaign, or if you wanted to take it one step further, you can put them all in one campaign and then just have a separate ad group for each variation. So what would happen would you had then a bunch of different ad groups in there with each respective variation. That'll give you a little bit more control over what keywords you're bidding on per variation, but still at the same time keeping it all under one neat campaign. Hope that answers your question. Thanks again. Next question is from Joseph, and he asks, can I set up my PPC campaigns before the product goes live? Great question, Joseph, here again. I'm glad you're thinking ahead, trying to be prepared. Unfortunately, you can't. You need your product to be up and live on Amazon before you can flip on or create your Amazon PPC campaigns. And the next question is from Marlene. She asks, when I start an automatic campaign, The recommended bid is set to $1.06 in her case, but she's bidding $3 and it's way above the suggested, and she's still not getting any impressions or clicks on her campaign. So she says, my bid is set to $3, but I'm not getting any impressions or clicks. What do I do? All right, typically or initially, this sounds like there's just something wrong with either your listing's not live or the campaign has a problem. And if you check those things out and it seems that everything should be on and running and your bid is much higher than the suggested, I would either get on the phone with Amazon or send an email to the Amazon PPC or sponsorship product support team. They are pretty responsive, and sometimes there are just problems with Amazon PPC campaigns. For some reason, your product isn't running the campaign, or the campaign isn't running for one reason or another, and just simple email to them, they'll have a look into it and be able to fix the problem. So that could be the issue. However, I did want to bring up another scenario, and let's say that you were looking at your automatic campaign and you pulled the search term report and you're just seeing a bunch of ASINs in there, and you're not seeing any search terms that customers are, clicking your product through. In this case, I believe that Amazon just doesn't fully understand your listing. So if you're pulling that search term report and you're looking at your automatic campaign and you're just seeing a bunch of ASINs and you're not seeing search terms in there, chances are you either don't have your back-end keywords in there correctly, maybe your listing isn't written with enough keyword-rich SEO, and I'd take a look at your listing and try to embed a little bit more rich keywords into your listing. Here again, that automatic campaign, you're allowing Amazon to automatically run your advertising in a sense. So what they're going to do is they're going to scan your listing, and you have to help them to understand. And the only way for them to understand what your product is if you have proper search terms or proper keywords embedded within your listing so that they can easily understand it. And that was question number 10. I hope that you guys have found this video helpful. Like I said, these are some good questions that I heard from the YouTube community and within the mastermind. If you're interested in joining the mastermind or taking a look at my full-blown Amazon FBA course, you can click the link below. And lastly, if you guys have any questions related to Amazon PPC, please drop a comment below. I'm happy to help you guys out, I answer all those comments there, so I'm more than happy to help you guys if you've got any specific questions to Amazon PPC, or if you just generally want me to make more videos like this in the future, I'd be happy to get that feedback as well. Take care, guys, and I'll see you on the next video. Peace.